All right, everybody. I'm here and I really just want to talk to the men and the young men about me, about my story, and how I have seemed to put on a perception of that I've overcame. So let me just keep it all the way thorough, man. So this isn't AI, man. This is straight up real talk. And I want to give God all the praise first and foremost, because I know this wouldn't be possible without him, obviously. I think my pain has to turn into purpose. So, with that being said, stop being fake, stop being phony, stop trying to preach, because that's not who I am. Yo, this all started at 13 years old. Too much pain that I thought I needed to carry. I was sitting in the classroom writing a letter just to let everybody know I wanted to be seen, but it was masked inside of a suicide letter. Next thing I know, someone had picked up the paper, gave it to the teacher, and I ended up in a counselor's office. And in that counselor's office, all I heard was he has to go to a mental facility. Who wanted to deal with a person who needed to go to a mental facility, right? So I'm gonna just keep it all the way thorough. When I got to that mental facility, I just felt out of place. I thought to myself, like, yo, am I really stressing? Am I going through anxiety? I mean, at that age of 13 in the eighth grade, I wasn't supposed to be thinking like that. I wasn't supposed to be thinking that I should be off this earth because of what I can't even get diagnosed. Well, what they try to diagnose me as, right? They never said anything about ADHD. They never said anything about, being prideful. They never said anything about the egos. They never said anything about what you do in the middle of the night or what you think about during the day. I think the lesson that I really learned inside of that mental facility is that there's others who truly can't control the things that they may be going through. And none of us shouldn't have to control it when you got God on your side. And I know I'm gonna just have to mention my God, right? Because I know what he's done for me. And if you don't like that, I mean, you just gotta get to stepping for real. I know that at this point in my life, I couldn't have made it without confessing my life unto honestly. And when I was in that mental facility for 7 days, I was basically going through a situation where, who's going to see me after this? Who's going to judge me after this? I only wanted to be seen in a loving way, a way that a mother and father together would be able to give me with the right mindset. Not saying that my parents didn't love me, because they truly did, and they still do. I think I was the one that isolated himself away from everybody. Maybe because of family dynamics, maybe because of, do I want to be born to these two? It wasn't a choice, it was a destiny. I remember being in there taking pills, and they were yellow in a small cup that you would get, like a snow cone cup, but just circle. I mean, I just I gotta be kind of vivid, because I just want this pain to be someone else's purpose, right? So for me, man, I had to get out of the mindset of, yo, I need to be loved, I need to be cared for. I had to get out of that mindset, but I didn't. The things that I chose after getting out of the mental facility, the running away from home, the jumping from house to house, the spirit of the vagabond, we'll get into that later. It all started at a young age. I was way before the eighth grade year that I started to become a person running away from situations and circumstances. I chose to do that. And you might ask why. I mean, God only knows. I'm still reaching to see what it is that kept me looking back and not forward. I mean, I've came to a place now that that eighth grade me can understand at his 38-year-old self that he was not supposed to be in them situations. He wasn't supposed to go to the mental facility. He wasn't supposed to be writing those suicide letters. He wasn't supposed to be isolated in a room. Pornography. That's the one that I wanted to really touch on, because honestly, eighth grade and even before then, I was exposed only because I believe I went looking for it. And I can't really say the exact time when, However, I remember just all I wanted to see was women naked. And I'm just vividly remembering the 8th grade mostly because that's when I thought I was free to be able to do it without having to sneak around. I don't know if I can elaborate on that story yet because process is still being processed. See, I mean, the process is being processed. I think for most of us in this day and time, we kind of fade away from the truth and where we came from. I think the misperception of it all is we don't have to be people of the past. That pornography got me into a place where I started to isolate even more and doing things that really I wasn't supposedly proud of. You know, dating the older women, which I thought could nurture me like a mother. I'm just saying this is my truth. It caused me to look at every woman in a different way, but with the same mindset. I know for me, I had to distinguish what is more important, relationship or infatuation. Effect with what society has come now to be open and be free. Let everything hang out, let everything be snatched, let everything be shown, which reminded me of that 8th grade self sitting in that classroom, going homes after the mental facility, finding a different way to cope with my issues, sitting on that floor, watching that DVD when nobody's home, going to the basement, seeing that DVD ready to be played. And I'm proud of it. But how many people can be thorough about these type of things and where your mindset is? Some people may see me differently. That's cool. Not asking for your opinions, not asking for your friendship. I'm not asking you to be sympathetic to who I thought I was supposed to be. If you can accept me for who I am now, that's fine. If I never get another photography gig, videography gig, if I never be able to teach anyone how to become the best part of yourself, that will hurt me the most because now I have to be able to teach these things that nobody was able to come to me about, right? And be thorough. Not gonna say nobody, but I think the biggest thing was I wasn't receptive to it. I didn't accept it. So that was my mistake. But to those who are really out here telling the truth about who they are, telling their story, I know for me I have to be careful about putting out content that isn't authentic. This is my most authentic moment. That 8th grade self, that mental facility where I wanted to take my life. I can really go into detail on everything that I've been through thus far, the many times that I've tried to commit suicide, the many times that I've almost died from being in places that I shouldn't have been. I could tell you all those stories. You just got to be able to be receptive to it. You got to be able to accept it for the way that I'm about to give it to you. I'm not bowing down to anybody except for my Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not going to dumb anything down because somebody needs to hear your story, especially the young men at that age where, yo, social media is crazy right now. You can literally go on AI and just create your girlfriend. Like, not just, listen, I'm not trying to be funny, but this is what the world is becoming. I know I could use certain things to help me cope with without having to have a human conversation. So what these AI tools do for me is helps me to turn this into a script, help me turn it into a story, help me turn it into a purposeful asset that my family could be able to watch whenever. And I think this is one of those things right now because I want to keep it funky, man. You know, got an 18-year-old in the house, 16-year-old in the house. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be able to be thorough about our stories. And I'm just trying to come thorough right now to let y'all know, man, that this life that you're living, don't take it for granted, man. That 8th grade self could have been gone. I could have took overdose pills or I could have slit my wrist. I could have hung myself. I could have done those things, but I chose life. I chose to be real with myself at this present time. Although I made those mistakes in the past, that's on me. That's not you. He helped me to become more of the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm just trying to keep it funky with y'all. So, yo, I'm not going to be long winded. I don't want to come to y'all with all these things without having a solution. So, yo, I'm offering one-on-ones to be able to have a conversation with anyone who's going through certain situations, right? And you need that listening ear. You just want somebody to keep it thorough with, to keep it all the way 100 with. Listen, I'm not even a licensed consultant. I'm just helping as a brother, and I prefer it to be, over the age of 18 and up, unless, there's apparent consent, because I'm taking this thing serious and these conversations have to be had. My lustful self wasn't supposed to be uh, sitting in the basement watching pornography, right? At the age of 13 years old, or in this bedroom searching for those same things. So I'm just saying there's my extended hand that's reaching out to whoever just wants to listen, right?